Should a pastor ever publicly withhold the elements from someone who wishes to participate in communion service? That's a big question, right? These days, these questions are often comes. Should a pastor withhold the elements? Should a pastor publicly withhold elements from someone who wishes to participate? I say here, such action should rarely be necessary, but could occur in an unusual circumstances. Such actions can occur in an unusual circumstances. What is that? If adequate preparations are made, those present will be keenly aware of who is not invited to partake, right? Under no circumstances should a pastor make an arbitrary spot decision that the church should not be eating with one of its members unless he's under church discipline. No one can say publicly, everyone, hey, don't eat with that person or don't give to that person. Unless that person is under church discipline. If a person is under church discipline, yes, we don't serve Lord's table to that person. He might come, we encourage him to come, but he doesn't participate. While the onus of 1 Corinthians 11 is for each man to examine himself, there is also an obligation for the church to not eat with the people in gross sin. As a church, as such, if a transient is known to be in violation of church participation policy and insist on partaking anyway, the table administrator is within his rights to withhold the elements in order to uphold the pure unity of the church, that it be publicly announced in the right and avoid facilitating sin and precipitating divine judgment. Friends, that means, yes, in very rare situation, we may say, someone who say, I wanted to participate, we may say, brother, sister, you cannot participate. You cannot participate. Right? So that is the certain, because if that person is under church discipline, he lives in sin, and doesn't repent, what right he has? What right? No right. All right. Here is question number 3. Couldn't the practice of close communion be perceived as judgmental, elitist, or otherwise unloving? That is another question people ask. Is it not unloving, judgmentalist? Of course, that's why people are going to look at them. That's why pastors should take the time to be pedantically careful to the point of redundancy in regularly explaining and defending the practice. Regularly explaining and defending the practice. Pastors should do that regularly. Why? Who can participate in the table? Who can participate? I always say the qualification to participate. Those who are genuinely saved, those who are baptized, right? Those who are member of a church, those who are, especially when guest comes, we explain it in detail. So, conclusion. If the Lord's table or Lord's Supper could be reduced to a simple memorial of the death of Christ for individual sinners, then the rite might be properly regarded as a Christian ordinance with a few restrictions on its practice. Since, however, Lord's Supper is also an act of communion that secures the unity and purity of the gathered church, The details of the rite cannot be overstated. This being the case, practice of close communion commends itself as the most biblically and theologically viable expression of Lord's table. So, close communion is the right kind of practice, and that is what we practice, right? It is not simply remembering the death of Christ, but it also proclaims the unity of the church, all right? So we wanted to uphold the unity and purity of the local church, and Lord's table is the means, the guardrail in upholding or in protecting the unity, protecting the purity of the church. All right.